Good afternoon, everybody. Before we get started in this next episode of Your Music, Your Story, featuring Chris and Drew from the band 30 is Dead, they wanted me to make a quick little plug-in for an item that we didn't discuss in our podcast, and that is called The List. The List is a list of punk and punk-adjacent bands from around the world. The list has roughly, I believe it's 5,500 names and contact information for all these bands. So I'll put a link for the list in the description, and also that's in the list is a video from Chris on how to use the list, what is entailed in the list, and how it can be beneficial and what to do with the list. So, like I said, all this will be in the description below. And without further ado, here is the episode of Your Music, Your Story, featuring Chris and Drew from the band 30 is Dead. All right, so welcome to this next episode of Your Music, Your Story. Today we're talking with Drew and Chris from the band 30's Not Dead. No, 30 is Dead.
30 is Dead.
30 is Dead. Nice. Well, thanks for joining me, even from our long distance. You guys, it was Pennsylvania and North Carolina?
Yep.
Yeah, and sorry about all the confusion about the meeting earlier. You know what they say about us East Coast folks.
I know. I was like, I'm a stereotype. I think the East Coast is the center of the world. What am I doing?
Who cares? Yeah, that's one issue because I work for the Air Force, and so my boss is in Texas, and then a bunch of other people on the east side of the coast, or East Coast, yeah. Sometimes you're like, oh, crap, I totally missed calling them. All right, well, thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here.
Let's get started, and who all is in 30 is Dead with you guys?
So that's me, Chris, and Drew, obviously. And then we've got our singer, Joe, and our drummer, Kevin, and our bass player, Brian. And we've all played in various bands around the Greensboro, North Carolina area for some time.
Nice. So how long have you guys all been a band together?
We started in 2019, the worst time to start a band. We started in October of 2019.
Right before COVID.
And we got our set done, and we had our first show booked for June, and it was like February, and we were ready to gear up, and then the world shut down. And then we tried to do some remote stuff, and it didn't go super great. But then when we were comfortable getting back together, that's when you came in after the lockdown, right, Drew?
Yeah, we started talking about bringing me into the band in 2020 early on, like right when it started, March, April. I think June I've started playing with you guys.
Okay.
I can't really remember though.
Yeah, that was the first time that everybody said things are going to be cool for 4th of July. They're like, all right, let's play music again. Oh wait, they're not cool anymore.
Just kidding.
Yeah, every timeline that we had got so fucked up. Is it okay to cuss?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah. Everything got really fucked up by COVID, obviously. I mean, music in general took a big L 2020, 21.
We recorded our first song in isolation. We did put Main Drain out.
With dark hair and bright green eyes, we just had
I guess Josh, our producer, saw everyone, but none of us saw each other for the process of recording that song, or except me and you.
Yeah, me and Chris did. We were in the same room together, but everybody else was separate. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Like separate as in, at least you were in a studio with an engineer, or everything was done away from you?
So our buddy Josh Amick, he produces and engineers all the songs that we have so far. And so he was at the time operating out of a home studio, working on getting his real studio set up. And so we were all going over to his house like one by one. Like I went, Kevin went Monday, Brian went Tuesday, Joe went Wednesday, Drew went Thursday. So he had seen everybody, but it was just one person and Josh, except for me and Drew did our overdubs together.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah,
Hey, COVID.
Yeah.
yeah.
In
Everybody was
stark
really
contrast-
on edge too, because like we didn't know how that was going to turn. And like, fun fact, we fucking hate that song, but like it's got the most plays on the internet.
Yeah.
And now we have to play it all the time. But I remember everybody being on edge. I went into the studio one day, and the girl I was dating at the time was like really anxious, and like somebody was like dropping off food or something for a neighbor and like knocked on our door by accident, and our Ring camera picked it up, and she was freaking out. I had to leave the studio and come home. There were cops at my house. I was like, that was a bit of an overreaction, but like it was just like I remember the anxiety of that time vividly.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's got to be rough.
It was pretty crazy. In stark contrast, and then when we did, so the other 3 songs we've got out now are part of a 5-song EP, and those we made an effort to like, we were in a studio where we were all playing together at the same time. Like 90% of that record is basic tracks that we played in the room together. So going from Main Drain, which was like the most Frankenstein a project could possibly be, to actually getting to like perform it the way that we're used to was a massive difference.
So now, when did that change? So I'm assuming after you recorded, then you're like, we don't like it, we're going to change it to how you play it?
Yeah, well, we were never really.
Chris's idea, really, he has always wanted to do a record this way of like recording everything in the same room. I personally thought it was a horrible idea, but like it worked out great. Like we got into the studio and there was like this magic. We were at Fallen Tree Studios in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Our good friend Chad owns the studio, and it was like such a magical experience. It was, we all got together and the song started coming together. We actually recorded Stick Drift, which is the next song that we're releasing, in one single take. Like, didn't even run through it beforehand. It was like, all right, we're all going to go get lunch. And then we're like, okay, just press record. Let's just try to get this really quick. And we just hit it first time. It was crazy.
Yeah, we ate lunch. Everybody's like shaking from all the energy. Matter of fact, actually, so Joe was doing scratch vocals on the whole project, and there's one of the songs where he went back to do his overdubs and he couldn't beat the scratch vocal. It stayed. It's on the record.
Hey, if you got to get it once.
Stick drift! 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 I just wanna relax, not murder to the max. The way I pick up my gun, a great time to run. Stick drift! Stick drift! Stick drift!
Yeah. We have a lot of nonverbal communication though too, because like we do, like me and Drew have talked a lot about like kind of what we think punk is, because like our music we try to kind of expand outside, like we like any music anyone has ever called punk rock is something that we're game to play. So that could be like something that's like more hardcore and almost metal. That could be something that's like Avril Lavigne. That could be something that's like emo, or something that's more straight down the middle, like a skate punk or something like that. And so we kind of have tried to figure out like what that means to us. Like how do we explore these like subgenres but still kind of keep it true? And the two of us, at least in the sense of the guitar playing, have kind of landed on like noises and like percussive guitar playing is sort of a hallmark of it. So we have a lot of like pick slides and ring outs and a lot of that kind of stuff. And all of that is like nonverbal in the room. Like we don't really do that quite the same ever, I think. So it really helped with capture that energy in a lot of that kind of stuff.
Looking at each other and reacting to each other.
Yeah. He was 3 feet away from me. And even our drummer was just on the other side of some plexiglass, like probably 5 feet away from both of us.
Yeah. And it was really crazy, honestly, that part of the process, because Chris and I, like he said, we had never like spoken about this stuff. Like we had never said like, oh, I'm going to like hit these 4 open strings right here at this part, or like do this pick scrape or whatever. And it's like, that whole record, you listen to it, it's like very consistent. We're both doing the same thing. It's like call and response even a little bit, and it's just wild how it matched up.
The other smart thing that happened on that, I got to give Kevin some credit, our drummer, because I had never thought about this, but when we played in the room, we're playing it at practice speed, so that's kind of how I've always found tempos. And then Kevin went back and he looked at all of the shows that we had played, and he mapped the tempo to the shows, which is absurd because we play faster than we could actually play at the shows. But it really helped, because then when we were in pre-production and we had everything on the Met, we were playing it at the same speed that we do play it live. So the experience of the record is much closer to what you would get at a performance than what it is when we're lazy on Wednesday nights.
I hear you. I've been told that before, because I used to play when I played drums in band.
Yeah,
well, I always play that so much faster at a live show than practice.
Yeah,
like, you know what? Hey, you just feel the energy and go. I don't even think I mentioned.
Oh, so Jeff, I didn't know you played drums. I know that you play bass, right?
Yeah, whatever.
I always like to ask drummers when I meet them, how many bands have you been in?
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, that's the answer. That's what everybody says.
and bass players too.
Yeah, there's always been those shows that, hey, you want to play in another band?
Yep.
No, I don't. They're like the golden ponies. You don't let
them go. It's hard to find a good drummer, man.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, so just another question. You guys were putting up on their what you're drinking just reminded me. I don't know, the beer with the yellow and red.
Oh yeah, the Bojangles hard tea.
And I'm like, the song is something coming up. I just keep seeing those.
So that's the dumbest thing. We got.
All right.
You start.
Okay. So Bojangles is like a hyper local North Carolina. Well, it started in Charlotte, North Carolina, and has kind of since spread to the southeast. But
it's a fried chicken restaurant.
Yeah, it's a fast food fried chicken place. But they partnered with a brewery called Appalachian Mountain Brewery, I think. And they released this hard tea, and they're famous for their sweet tea. It's like sweet tea, chicken, and biscuits. And so we had a joke at this show we played at this venue called the Rock House. Somebody was like, hey, have you heard about those hard teas? And we were like, yeah, man, I can't wait to try them. And he was like, why don't we do a show that is based around just being as offensively North Carolinian as we can be, and have hard teas and fried chicken, and we'll just do a Bojangles show. I think it was Joe and I that were talking about that. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's actually do that. Yeah. So we had a show on the books, and we were like, hey, Tony, it's at our friend Tony's venue, The Den. We're like, we're going to have a fried chicken party at your house. And so like,
$100 of fried chicken, $100 of Bojangles hard tea.
Yep. No, it was actually I bought the tea. It was $240. It was 7 cases of. I actually
it's the dumbest commitment to a stupid bit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
people loved it.
I have hard tea here that I refuse to ever touch again. I'm so sick of that shit because we drank so much of it on Saturday.
The weirdest part of that whole thing, though, was that like, so I've done. I had another band where we did like themed shows and we had like video flyers and stuff, and then I was in a sketch comedy group, and so I feel like, and these guys have always kind of been on the fringes of those projects too, and so coming into this project and bringing that energy into it now, like it's really weird to have like the fact that our marketing campaign was just like, hey, isn't it weird that Southern sweet tea has alcohol in it now? But so people have latched onto it to the point that we just sent a shirt to Utah that somebody ordered online, and we've had like lots of people from the UK just being like, this is so cool. And it's like, I don't even know, how do you guys
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like you said, Jeff, like nobody knows what that is. But it's just so the imagery is iconic, you know, and
it kind of feels like, have you ever gone to a thrift shop? Like I've got these shirts I got at a thrift shop that were for some like, so it was some Jewish organization doing like a running marathon, but they were always like superhero themed. So one's like Tony Stark with the Star of David as his arc reactor, and then another one's like
that's fucking cool.
clearly stolen picture of Spider-Man with a poorly photoshopped Star of David like on his forehead. And I immediately bought it because I was like, I don't know what this is, but I've never seen anything like this. So I think there's some of that energy.
Oh, that's fun. You know, if you're selling shirts out there in Britain, you know there's some dude going, hey, I know a Southern word.
Yeah.
That's going to be their impression of the South now.
Yeah.
I would
I'm here
love for people in the UK to become intimately familiar with Bojangles chicken and biscuits. That would be fucking awesome. But yeah, I mean,
Oh dear.
You'll see us drinking a lot. It's kind of like a little gimmick, not a gimmick. I don't know. It was a stupid joke. We drink a lot of seltzers, like hard seltzers, and we're always talking about crushing seltzies with the boys and stuff. And it's just it's been a running theme ever since.
Well, because so part of that, actually, to go back to the beginning, is sort of the idea. Like when we named the band, we were having a hard time kind of figuring out what we wanted. And Joe had come to practice, and he suggested 30's Not Dead as the name of the band, and I was like, but that's not punk. Like 30's dead. Like we're old, we're playing punk music, we're too old to be doing this. Plus, it plays in with the like punk is dead, rock is dead thing. Yeah. And so that we've got friends that we see that have been playing in bands for as long as us that just have like the worst arrested development, and they're just on TikTok trying to keep up with the kids and stuff, and it's like, man, we're old now, like we can't do that. So we're the Celtic thing, I think in my view, is kind of a little bit of us just like embracing our age and trying to make it cool to be coming up on middle age and still like doing this stupid teenager shit.
Yeah, and people have been embracing it too online, which is cool.
That's cool. So how'd you advertise the show? Okay, look, we're playing a show.
That show, we just told people about it and word spread really quickly.
It did. And then you guys made the video. So Joe and Drew made a video where they went to Walmart and bought all of the Bojangles hard tea that they had at Walmart. And then somebody else was like, hey, where did you buy that? I need to go get some. And I was like, oh no, that's not a bit. Like they actually bought all of the hard tea they had at that Walmart. So you can't go there.
Yeah. They were like, where'd you get it? And I was like, it doesn't matter where we got it. They don't have it anymore.
Drew bought, so the Bojangles website has like a full apparel line, and so Drew bought an entire head-to-toe Bojangles outfit, and so we took the announcement for the show was him like shotgunning a hard tea head-to-toe in Bojangles gear.
Yeah. And honestly, you wouldn't think, because tea is not carbonated, it doesn't have like bubbles like a beer. Surprisingly easy to shotgun though. It went down smooth.
Oh, that cracks me up. Yeah, well, way to run that gig all the way.
Yeah, we've been trying. People have wanted more. We did on March 10th is Mario Day, so we all dressed up as Mario characters and stuff. That was a big hit too. So I think we're gonna do more of that stuff moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Fun. So let's talk about your 30 is Not Dead song.
Okay.
So your first one was the Main Drain, right? That's the first one that you did.
Main Drain came out first, and Main Drain we kind of just put out so that we would have like a presence on the internet. That one wasn't really that we weren't really kind of marketing ourselves yet at that point.
Yeah, we actually recorded 2 songs for that session.
Yeah.
And only released Main Drain.
Dropping the other one.
So that one you only did 2.
Yeah, we just did 2 on that because, like I said, we were just trying to like make sure that we could get our name locked down on Spotify, make sure that when we were booking shows, we had something to send people.
Okay.
It wasn't really until Treason's Greetings where we were at the point where we're like, this is our vision of what we want the project to be, and this is like where we're going to start really trying to do outreach and stuff.
Oh, nice. Now, could we put some of the songs in here, some of the videos?
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
course.
whatever you want to use.
Yeah.
So your season's treating. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Greeting.
Treason's greetings.
Treason's Greetings.
So is that you decided it'd be funny to do a Christmas song, or you guys play that all the time?
So we played. So it was never meant to be a Christmas song. So actually, after the first practice we had after the July 6th attack on the Capitol, Joe.
January 6th?
January 6th. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
January 6th attack on the Capitol. Joe came in. Joe is not political, but Joe came in hot and he had like all these lyrics and he just like started spouting them out. And we actually wrote that whole song like top to bottom that night, which I think is really cool because it's, I think, the only time we've done that. And I think it probably most kind of encapsulates like our just like nothing makes you feel more punk rock than a coup. I don't know. So it captured that pretty well.
So it's a kind of more about January 6th, but
That's about January 6th. And so we thought it would be funny to call it Treason's Greetings. And then once everything got mastered and we got it back, it was like we were coming out, we were looking at a Black Friday release date, and we're like, well, like we gotta do Treason's Greetings first and make it like a Christmas thing and get it out there. And it worked. People really responded to it. So
It worked really well. People, because everybody assumes it's a Christmas song, and then you listen to it. I mean, drop it in now in the podcast. You hear that shit, and it's like, okay, like it wasn't what I was expecting, but I love that. Sounds like it should be on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack. And people picked it up. We actually got featured in one of a local magazine music review. Our friend Katie Cranford put us in Yes Weekly. And we did our music
because
video,
it was Christmas themed.
because it was Christmas themed. And our music video is literally just like a photo shoot of us in ugly Christmas sweaters, like just fucking around. And we were gonna do like an actual music video with like production value and stuff, but the pictures are so funny that we just put
like,
them out
that's
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's gotta be a reason why we're all committing treason. It's already open season, honey. Why should we wait? All the puppets on the podium supporting their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. We either bow down or bow out. Grab a ticket and wait in line. Freedom is just a memory that will fade over time. All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. Happiness is a chemical that they dump into our veins. Individuality is just a concept, but in reality we're all the same. All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. There's gotta be a reason. We're all the same. We're all committing treason. We're all the same.
But yeah, when I first I was like, oh, they did a Christmas song or released a Christmas album.
Yeah, maybe one day. I feel like we're obligated to now. Or maybe every year we'll just put out a song that's not a Christmas song and just dress it up like it is one.
Yeah, maybe.
Pull the wool over on their eyes.
Yeah, it works.
So just out of curiosity, I know we talked about before. So one of you is in Pennsylvania and the rest are in South Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So how
The better Carolina.
those down there?
It's working out well, shockingly well. So we were I guess just to finish the story from where we were before to where we are now, we had finally gotten back from COVID. Drew had joined the band, and we were looking to book shows. And so the very first show we played was a private party. It was our friend's birthday, just to kind of like feel it out and see what it would be like. But then the first public show that we got booked on was as the last local opener playing for the Queers. And we're like, this is huge. This is our first show that we're playing. And we're like directly supporting the Queers. What?
Guess we better be good.
Yeah. And people loved it. Joe Queer came up and like tried to buy a shirt until Joe gave him his money back. Like, I'm not charging Joe Queer for a shirt at his own show. And so from that point, we were like, okay, like there's something's going on here. Like this is working. And so my girlfriend at the time was working on finishing up her doctorate. And then last June, she had finished it and found a job, and we had found out that me and her were going to be moving up here to Pittsburgh. And so we were like, well, this band thing's going well. This music sounds really good. We're getting these bigger opportunities on shows. So we can't like stop this. And so fortunately, in part because of the pandemic, this company called Elk have put out this box called the Elk Live Bridge. And it's this like little yellow box. Let me hold it up here. I get everything unplugged so you can see it. But so it's this little box where you just plug in like your guitar right there in the front, and then there's an Ethernet port in the back, and it sends real-time audio between here and North Carolina. And so we can break it out. It's got two outputs, so we just break them out into our multi-channel interface there, and we still get multi-track for our writing and everything, and nothing has changed.
So there's like no latency or anything like that, huh?
It's imperceptible. Like they say that it's less than the latency you get from hearing a guitar on stage left when you're standing on stage right.
Oh,
and that seems to be true. I should say that they're not paying us anything, but they did give us a very nice write-up for using their stuff. So
how
yeah.
how did you hit them up, say, hey, do you have some kind of advice that this would work? Like how did
well, so I had originally found out about them. So I'm a techie person. I'm like a coder, and I like to like hack around with stuff. And I found out about them on Hackaday when they had put out the operating system that Elk is based on, because some people were using it to make DIY modeling amps and loop pedals and stuff like that. And then they went on to the singer from Muse, Matt Bellamy, had a computer synth that was part of his guitar, and they actually managed to, with the Raspberry Pi and their operating system, build the synthesizer into the body of his guitar. And so I'd been following him pretty closely from that. And then I saw they put this out like a month or two before I moved. And so I was like, well, we got to get on that. And so that's how we found out about that. And then we ultimately met them through Discord, because I had done so much research on it that I was giving people like technical advice in their Discord.
you were now the go-to on how to
Yeah, I'm a shill. I'm an unpaid shill.
So that's not bad. So how often do you guys practice?
Every week.
Every Wednesday.
Okay, so that didn't change any of that, huh?
No.
Nope.
Just that's still cool that it works.
Yeah. If anything, we're more serious now, because I can't do this and not be. And because I came up here and didn't really know anybody, so I had more time on my hands to kind of like start pushing stuff and doing that thing too. So I think weirdly it's been a net positive.
Yeah, it has worked out really well. I mean, since Chris has moved to Pittsburgh, like he said, we've been taking it more seriously. He's been able to take care of a lot of our social media stuff, and that's really where things are taking off, like on Instagram. So that's been really exciting.
It also makes us more organized booking shows too, because like I can only be in town for like a week or two down in North Carolina, so we have to book like 3 to 6 shows like in those 2 weeks, and so that's making it, since they have to be so clustered, that now we have to also go to other markets if we want to be able to play shows, because we got to get those shows together to make it worth me driving there. So whereas before we'd be playing, we're lucky to be right between Winston-Salem and Greensboro there, so we have two fairly different markets that still have enough people, but now we like have to go to Charlotte every time, or we have to go to Raleigh, and then we're going to Charleston in June, so it's causing us to just happen to have to expand out in a way that we might not have if we weren't doing it this way.
They're a little more focused, more intentional with what you're doing.
Absolutely. And the response to everything's been incredible too, like no small part to anybody who found us through the internet or anything that's listening to this. Like, you guys have all been fucking incredible too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So I know you guys posted quite a few videos of playing shows lately.
Yeah.
So does that mean you were recently down there, or are those shows from before?
I was just down there last Saturday. We played the Bojangles show. Actually, that was a weird one because we ended up, that actually wasn't one of the clustered ones. I had to go down Saturday and back up Sunday for that one. So that sucks. But Kevin does a pretty good job of spacing stuff out. We get pretty good coverage. I was a videographer at my last job for a long time. So got a lot of experience doing some 3-camera stuff. So we kind of make a point of trying to get good coverage that we can kind of release to keep the algorithms happy.
Keep them on to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want now. All that fancy technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long is the drive? Is it from there where you're at?
6.5 hours.
That's
Yeah, that's a haul.
good job. Good job. So do you guys have places that you like to play over others? Like is Rollins more of a favorite or something like that? Or have more shows?
Yeah, I mean, there's like specific venues or like specific cities.
Either or.
I think my personal favorite venue to play at is the Den.
Yeah.
Like I was talking about earlier, it's where we had the Bojangles show, run by our good friend Tony. I mean, there are so many venues, and
Yeah.
there's some.
They're all pretty rad. I mean,
well,
the Den,
I can tell you some that I don't like, but I'm not gonna just talk shit about venues on a podcast.
the Den's super rad because it's just Tony. It's technically a house venue. It's a DIY spot, but Tony does professional lighting, so he has a detached garage, and it has a full grid in the top. So he's got like full show lighting and a smoke machine and like a full surround system, like everything, like full PA, all of it. And he doesn't really have any neighbors like too close by. It is weird though because you have to drive through like this residential neighborhood and then down his like quarter-mile driveway to like get to it. But he's had like irresponsibly big bands play there and is looking to continue to have even more irresponsibly big bands play there. And it's pretty incredible what he's been able to do with the detached garage in the back there.
I think the common theme is like the most fun shows that we play are not typically like the big venues. They're like a more intimate space. Like some of the what was that one? Tommy's Pub in Charlotte.
That was rad. Yeah.
That was a really cool show, but it was just like in an Irish pub
dive bar. Yeah.
And we were way too fucking loud. People left, but there were so many people that were into it.
We rolled up to the show and we went inside and we were like, hey guys, this is a small room. We're going to be really loud. And we had multiple people assure us, no, people come here for loud. And we're like, fucking rock on, dude. This is going to be awesome. And then we got done. And as soon as we got done, people were running up to us like, that was too loud. What are you doing? You can't do that in here.
We can't play at that decimal.
And we were too loud. I mean, to be fair, but we also told them we were going to be.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, that's cool.
There were a lot of people that were really into it, but it was way too loud.
Now, is it just because you guys played loud or it's just a small space?
Both. Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness, like we're all wearing hearing protection on stage.
Right. And I've been playing punk rock for 20 years.
Yeah. And like nobody said like, hey, turn down your amps before we started playing. They were just like looking confused. So we were like, all right, I guess we'll fucking play.
Right. Yeah.
Let's rock out.
Yeah, then it was fun. I mean,
if anybody had said anything, we would have had a better stage volume. But we just kind of found our because that's the thing is like we're playing aggressive music, so you got to have it loud to get your tone, and then you can roll it back from there. So we all just found our tone and rolled with it, and
had a good show. It sounds like
ruined some eardrums.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's right. If you're not coming to a punk show to hear some ruined eardrums, who cares?
That's what I'm saying. Get some earplugs.
Shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue that I have now. I'm 45, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have some hearing aids in the future.
Oh, I definitely am, dude. I've had tinnitus since I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah, I think I started noticing my tinnitus in, I think it was like my late 20s when I was playing with another band, and boy, that is not fun to go to sleep hearing that every night.
Yeah, squealing.
Yeah. I am back with a correction from my girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
Apparently, I said my girlfriend at the time, and what I meant to say was at the time my girlfriend was working on her doctorate. She
Oh,
is still
Taylor
my
is
girlfriend.
upset. Dr. Taylor is upset.
Offended. Oh, okay. We got the correction in.
There we go. So you were asking about 30's Not Dead, though. We never got back there.
Just the song 30's Not Dead. Because that's is that a newer one?
That's the second one. So we put out Main Train way back, and then Treason's Greetings in November, and then we did 30's Not Dead. After that would have been February, and then now we just put Don't Probe Me Bro out most recently.
Okay. So tell me about Don't Probe Me Bro. I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled when I saw your little alien suit.
Oh man.
Like I thought maybe it's just like a green screen and someone just had a green suit. Like, oh no, they got a little alien there.
Yeah, we've gotten in a bad habit of buying costumes.
Oh yeah.
There's gotta be a reason why we're all committing treason. It's already open season, honey. Why should we wait? All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. We either bow down or bow out. Grab a ticket and wait in line. Freedom is just a memory that will fade over time. All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. Happiness is a chemical that they dump into our veins. Individuality is just a concept, but in reality we're all the same. All the puppets on the podiums are pointing their guns while all the little sheep just wanna have fun. All the puppets on the podiums are already done now. All the little sheep just wanna have fun. There's gotta be a reason. We're all the same. We're all committing treason. We're all the same.
You start this one, Drew.
Okay. So a little bit of background on Don't Probe Me Bro. Joe, our vocalist, and I go way back. We played in bands. Well, I mean, I guess he goes back further with the rest of the band, but he and I have been in bands together off and on since 2010. And he always used to just like kind of like drop little references of like about me into songs. And Don't Probe Me Bro is about me, a dream Joe had, I think, of I got kidnapped, like abducted by aliens, and they probed me and stuff. And I said, Don't probe me, bro, in his dream. And he thought that was crazy. So that's what the song is about. But I don't know, like, you should listen to the song if you haven't. It's killer. Chris came up with this really rad riff, and it's pretty progressive as far as punk songs go. I think it's
we were writing it around the time that all the UFO stuff was coming out too.
Oh yeah,
me and Drew were like real up on like, yo, bro, there's aliens, dude. We gotta stay on the hunt.
Yeah, Chris and I talk a lot on Messenger. So like, he's like, bro, did you see this crazy shit Tom DeLonge has been saying? And just like sending me all of this alien stuff and these like releases about government UFO sightings.
Oh, yo, wild story that I feel like I'm lying every time I say this, but it absolutely happened. When we played that birthday party, we played Don't Probe Me Bro, and we got done, and we looked out in the crowd, and everybody's like, we're outside at this barbecue, and everybody's like staring up and like pointing, and there's like a fucking weather balloon or something like right above us, like the first time we played that song live. So that was wild.
Things got real quick.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. That was super crazy. And everybody's like, Drew, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like everything has a second layer to it. Like there's definitely some.
Yeah. Also, we're about to drop a music video for 30's Not Dead. There's a little reference to Don't Probe Me, Bro at the very end of that video. So stick around
Yeah.
For the credits, after the credits, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when is this going to air? It'll probably be out by the
Probably
time
will be.
this drops.
So 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
it'll
it should be out by
be
then.
out by then.
We're 30 is dead. This song's 30's not dead.
Where were you when your childhood died? When you traded playing outside for getting high? Or when you took that 9 to 5 just to make enough to get by? Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here. Carpentium, don't waste away. You are stuck with the choices you make. Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here. We never knew how good we had it. We just rushed it growing up. But it's all gone like we never had it. And most don't give a fuck. But not me, I'll take every minute. Because we don't get things back. Just relax and take a second. And realize where you're at. Here I go, I'll sell my soul. I promise not to take control of my life. Will pass me by. Soon I will be too old to care. Just take some time and enjoy the ride. Live it up while we're all still here.
All right. We'll have to check it out. So because both of those ones, the videos that you have on YouTube, that's just a picture, right? On both of them.
Don't probe me, bro. Yeah, I think so.
So all right.
Because the only other official video we have out right now is Treason's Greetings, which was that photo shoot.
Mhm. There's also a live compilation of that, and it's that I think I love that video because it's like it really captures the essence of our live shows. But
Is it?
30's Not Dead. It's
Oh, it's a live.
Wait, Treason's Greetings. That was
Oh,
Treason's.
Treason's Greetings. Yeah, Treason's
Yeah,
Greetings.
so we had like a bunch of just like live footage that we hadn't really used, so like kind of laying around. And so I took the studio recording and I just like synced it up to all the live footage, so you could kind of get a feel for like the live show from it.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice. All right. Yeah, we'll have to put that video in there just for good measure.
Yeah, it came out well.
Mm.
That's what I'm talking about. So, who's the primary songwriter in your guys' band? Or do you have one, or do you all do it?
I would say, I guess probably me. Me and Brian are pretty tied. But the way we write, we just kind of typically come in with just like a riff, and then maybe a loose vision for what we want the song to be, and then the band kind of writes it together. I think I've got the most, and then Brian, and then Drew's been starting to put some in there too.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I mostly just
Joe-
come in and put my signature stank on it.
Joe writes almost all the lyrics and vocals, though.
Yeah.
The only ones he didn't are my parts in Stick Drift.
Oh, nice, nice. So, do you have a favorite key that you like to stick to, or anything like that, or you just?
I don't know. Do I, Drew? I don't know shit about music theory, dude.
Well, I think our favorite thing to do is to break the rules, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's we have a song that we haven't yet recorded, but we I guess we'll be posting some stuff about it soon, but it's called Take Out the Trash, and we break every songwriting rule that I've ever been taught. So that's fun. We have like a lot of accidental, well, I guess you would call them accidentals in a lot of what we do.
And then like there's some weird stuff like in Don't Probe Me Bro, like we got to the end of the chorus and like we were trying, or the end of the bridge, and we were like trying to set up for the outro, and we're like, it really feels like there should be a pause here, but like the count didn't work for it, so we just have like one random measure of 4/4, like it's not like a full phrase. And so there's a lot of weird things like, or like in Stick Drift, which like I said should be coming out here in the next like probably 2 weeks after this comes out, I think. That one, the way that like the chorus and the verse share a chord, and so I sing the first verse and I treat it as though the last chord of the chorus is also the first chord of the verse, and so it kind of shifts it. But then Joe was having a hard time latching onto that, so we did it like normal for the second verse, and so it's kind of hard to tell when you're listening to it, but I think it kind of keeps it interesting that we just kind of like chop stuff off and add things on in random places.
Yeah, it'll be, I think in, 10 years, it'll be crazy to go back through our catalog and listen to like how things started off really tame and normal and like right straight through the uprights, 4/4 key of G, 140 BPM. And then we go just fucking crazy through like
off the
we
rails.
start changing. And then like, I don't even know what kind of music we're going to be playing in 5 years. Like it's going to be just so fucked up.
Optimism.
Yeah. Well, because so many, dude, how many times have you listened to a punk band? Like the Queers are perfect. I love the Queers, but like every Queers song is the same song, and that song is good, but I don't know. We don't want to we don't want to be a punk band that just writes the same song over again. Like I grew up listening to like punk compilations and like the Tony Hawk soundtrack, and like so to me, punk is like this like broad, diverse genre. But for some reason, like when you find a band you like a lot of times it's just like, okay, well, if I want to hear 6-7 versions of the same song, then these are the guys. But
the one,
and we all have such different influences too. Sorry for interrupting. What were you saying?
I'll just say, the 1-4-5 chords.
absolutely right. Yeah. Yep. Right.
In the world. Sorry. Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying we all have like a lot of different influences in this band, which I think is one of the reasons why that style of songwriting makes sense for us. Like Chris is like a straight punk guy, like really comes from a dance punk band, like, and they've done like a lot of really cool stuff. Like Chris's old band was one of my favorite local bands back in the day. And then Kevin and Brian are in like a progressive electronic metal band. Joe's in like a pop rock band. I was also in like a progressive like gent metal band, and like
all bass guitars.
Yeah, we got 3 bass. We're
really?
not here to talk about ELE, but it was. I mean, we've just all done a lot of cool stuff. Like lately, I've been listening to 70s funk, Russian hard bass, and like Latin pop stars. Like we just listen to so many different kinds of music that it makes sense to mash all of this stuff together and see what kind of fucked up mess comes out of it. And it's so fun.
And even the punk music, like I don't even think, I think we kind of, there's a couple bands we all like Sum 41 and some of that stuff that we kind of grew up on. But I think for the most part, like even our taste in like the punk genre of music is like pretty different because Joe likes
yeah.
like real bubblegummy stuff, and then I know like Brian likes a lot more of that like Sum 41 Green Day kind of stuff. I like bad music, man. I like out of tune guitars and like
Yeah, Chris
all
likes
that
folk
stuff.
punk.
Yeah, I do. And then Drew, like I showed Drew the Refused, and that changed his whole world.
Dude, I'm going to be real on this podcast right now. I didn't really know punk rock before I knew Chris Nielsen. This man has taught me everything I know about punk, how to play it, what to listen to. And The Shape of Punk to Come by The Refuse is, till the day I die, in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. It is one of the greatest albums ever. You cannot convince me otherwise. I listen to it like once a month. It's so incredible. Listen to that album. Not that they need me to tell you that. It's fucking amazing. Like everybody knows about it, but it's so good.
I would mildly disagree and say I'm a bigger fan of Fan the Flames to Come, or no, their first album. It has hook.
I can give you that.
My goodness, I love that hook line.
as long as you're not saying anything after Shape of Punk to Come, I think we can be good.
I only know those two. I don't know what Refuse done is done after it, but I will agree that Shape of Punk to Come, yeah. Oh dear, that's good. Hell yeah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. So, are you guys going to do some touring, or are you able to do touring?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. That's a question we need to discuss with ourselves probably here soon.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing some weekenders, like go up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where Chris lives, and then kind of like do some dates up and down.
Yeah. We're in a really good position to be based out of North Carolina where they are, though, because I was just looking up, like, was it 12 of the top 100 music markets are within 5 hours of High Point, and then 24 of them are within 7 hours.
Oh,
so, yeah, it may actually end up working out where we're able to just kind of do weekenders, and we don't actually have to really do formal touring for a little bit, which would be good because we're all old with, like, real jobs.
Yeah, I think that's really the limiting factor. Isn't like, can we get shows? It's can we get
PTO?
Time off?
Yeah.
So we've got PTO issues.
Dang, band and work.
I know. Yeah. Maybe one day it'll solve itself. That's the hope.
So I've only been on the East Coast twice, so I really don't know. So this is very ignorant. But it seemed like there was a lot of places where there were just not quite like California, but there were just lots of little towns all the way up. Because I was in Florida.
We definitely are. Yeah.
So you could find tons of places to play.
Absolutely.
Oh man, yeah. Like, well, first of all, come over here. What are you doing? It's incredible. The East Coast is awesome.
It's the only place in the world, apparently.
Yeah, it's the only place. Okay, so within, like Chris was saying, within 5-6 hours from here, you've got Charlotte, Raleigh, Atlanta. I mean,
Nashville.
Like, there are big cities in every state around us, really. Like
and even in North Carolina, we got more cities than a lot of states do.
Yeah.
With just Winston and Greensboro and Raleigh and Charlotte and Asheville, and like Wilmington's got a good scene.
Yeah. And maybe not necessarily all, tried and true metropolitan areas, but upcoming cities, good sized markets to break into. I mean, I think that's really where you do a lot of your growing as a band, is in smaller markets like that, because like a big place like New York or Las Vegas or LA, like you're gonna see a lot of bands and a lot of people coming through there, but like none of those bands are gonna stick, because how are you gonna stand out? Like we're making a splash in our area right now and getting a lot of local coverage because we're a big fish in a small pond, and I'm not talking shit about any of the other bands around us. I love all the bands we play with.
There's just not as many of them as there would be somewhere else. So
So is there not that big of a scene for that type of music, basically? Or
there's a good scene. It's just like the scene is more spread across the state than it would be in like a major market. And so there's a lot of like we play with Charlotte and Raleigh bands constantly. There's a lot of bands coming out of Asheville. And so whereas like New York City might have that whole scene right there, like we've got that whole scene where everybody drives like 3 hours.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's still a drive down as well.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems pretty normal to everybody we're used to. That we're playing with. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good way to get out into an area where people wouldn't necessarily like. somebody that lives in Charlotte isn't going to drive to Winston-Salem to see a show because it's like, 2-hour drive.
Right.
But if we can go from Winston-Salem to Charlotte and play a show, all of those people still get to see us. And we have
Right.
friends there, we have fans there.
And once they've seen us, it's close enough that a lot of times they're willing to come back. Because especially in like the Greensboro, Winston area, we're super used to driving for music because Raleigh's 2 hours and Charlotte's about 2 hours. And so like 2 hours is just like what you do for music there.
Oh, so that's just not a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, some
Yeah,
stuff
not
comes
at all.
through Greensboro, but for the most part, like the mid-sized bands that we like to listen to, a lot of them don't come through that area anyway.
Yeah.
That's kudos for you guys. I'm like LA, that's an hour away.
Yeah, you guys have a real. You're the center of the. I'm talking about we're the center of the world, man. You guys are the center of the music world out there.
Yeah.
Bunch of noise out here is what it is.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but like all of the best bands play out there. Like right now, you could go see Botch, you could see the Mars Volta. Like all of my favorite bands are playing on the West Coast right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Which is unfortunate. Maybe it's fortunate. I don't know. Half of them I don't even go to. I said most of them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Said some. That's not too bad. I mean, there's definitely a lot of cool places to play out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one of the guys we were talking with. He's out in Texas. He used to be he was in a ska band out here and in Riverside, and he was talking about all the cool bands are out there. They only come through our town maybe once every other year if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's got to be rough.
We are pretty lucky not having to worry about real pay to play or anything like that. Like there used to be more of a like we're going to give you 50 tickets and you have to sell them kind of stuff, but I've never been in a situation where we had to like rent out a room or something like that like you hear about coming out of LA, so that's good at least.
Do you guys do much of those pay to play shows? Or like, are
Hell
you
no.
have them out
Hell
there?
no.
Fuck, that's not punk rock, man.
Yeah.
That is pay to play shows are killing the music industry and like just absolutely smothering small bands. Like,
Yeah.
like
If
local
you're
bands are
struggling to
fucking
find a
dying because of
venue, if you're struggling to find a venue because every venue that you would otherwise play at is pay to play and you're playing a subversive type of music, that should be your sign to start a DIY venue,
that. Yep.
in my opinion.
Or
I mean,
to
within your
burn
means.
that motherfucker
but-
down. Like throw
Yeah.
a Molotov cocktail in that bitch.
Hell yeah. Now that's punk. That's punk right there.
Yeah.
Oh dear. But so what are you guys doing next? I know you guys talk about you were releasing an album coming out, or not an album, a song.
EP. Well, yeah, we got a song coming out. I forget the date. I'm so bad at this. Toward the end of May, it should be coming out. It will be
We're-
making a big deal about
We're
it.
working on like a release cycle for our first EP. We're kind of playing the social media game and doing singles. Like Chris, is it 5 or
Yeah,
6 songs?
so it's 5 songs. So Spotify just prefers singles because they want constantly to have new stuff. And so starting with Treason's Greetings, the next 5 songs, so the 3 that are out, the next song and the following song, are actually part of one EP. And it'll be packaged up as an EP once they're all out. And then at that point, we're going to try to get some vinyls made and try to like get them out that way and stuff. So it's a weird. I hate it. It's a weird world. We wrote the record to be a record, and we're stuck in this world where we're having to put them out as singles.
Hey,
Yeah, but we are going back into the studio in July
Mhm.
to record the next 5 or 6 songs. We're still talking about it, but that's going to be fun because like that first record, like I had come into the band and like a lot of the foundations for these songs were kind of being worked on before I joined the band, but like this next wave has got like I'm just proud to be more involved in those
Yeah.
songs.
Part of the process from day one.
Yeah. So not that I wasn't on the other songs, but I mean it's just like I feel myself in more of these new ones. So I'm excited about that.
so are you guys so you're going to release these 5 as singles?
Yes.
The group that you do are you going to do those as singles? Or you're going to wait
Yeah.
to see how it is?
Yeah, they're going to be coming out as singles, I think.
Yeah.
It's been working well.
Yeah, unless Spotify changes something and they're like, hey, congratulations, you made an album, but that's just
Yeah.
not going to happen. They
It
just
is.
want
It is possible
fresh
that
stuff.
if we end up doing 6 songs, that one of them may be a B-side to another single.
yeah.
And if we do 5, they'll probably just all be singles. But I can't wait. I can't wait to be through the full release cycle because, like, honestly, to me, like, these 5 songs are a record, and it's weird because it's hard for like all of our fans are new fans. Like we just started doing this, and so it's hard for them to understand that like it's a part of a bigger piece of work. And so I hope we're able to get our vision of it out in a way that like the people who are really digging it can appreciate.
Yeah.
Nice.
Plus, it's pretty accessible in my opinion. Like this current release that we're putting out is not hard to listen to. It's like really accessible punk rock, and like you listen to these songs and you're like, this is cool. This is punk rock. And then we're gonna evolve. But we've just got a good group of musicians. Like Brian and Kevin are some of the best rhythm section musicians you're ever gonna hear. Me and Chris are trying to figure it out, you know. But, our vocalist,
we
Joe,
try to
is
make
really
each other
talented.
laugh with our guitar parts.
Yeah. Chris just tries to upset me with his strong song structure. It's fine.
Oh dear. So out of curiosity, what kind of studio musicians are you? I know some people absolutely hate every minute of ever being in a studio. Some enjoy it, some are in the middle, some are
Oh, let me talk about this, Chris.
Yeah.
So we have a full range of studio personalities in our band.
That's fair.
So Kevin and Joe are like the utmost professional
Yeah.
studio musicians that
Especially
I've ever
Joe
seen.
playing in a pop band. Like he
Yeah.
lives there, you know.
Yeah, he's just always in the studio. So they really know what they're doing. I'm no stranger to a studio setting, but like I motivate through self-hatred. So I'll fuck up a take or something like that. And the way that we've been recording is like, you know, when we did it all together in one room live, it was like, if I was the one that fucked up, I'd have to leave the room and like hate myself for 5 minutes and then
We'd
come
be
back.
sitting in there listening to the playback, and Drew would have been working on his part, and he'd come in and just storm through the control. I suck. Like, dude, that part was rad. Like, no, I'm terrible. Don't tell me I'm good, or the next one's gonna be even worse.
Yeah. But I normally, you know, I'm good about getting through it and actually getting the take. Brian, our bassist, is he gets really fucking pissed. I don't know what, like, he's good, and then it's like he'll fucking snap, and then something happens, and he is just like a monster for 5 seconds.
I think it's because he's so good
Mhm.
that like he doesn't really have to ever struggle with not getting something, but then inevitably, like you're in the studio, things aren't perfect, so you just kind of
Yeah.
get that.
And Chris, I don't know, Chris, tell us about yourself in the studio.
Oh, I don't know. It depends. The way we recorded this record is like my dream, dude. Like the fact
Mhm.
that we were able to do that made it so easy. It was everything I've always wanted to do, just being in the room at the same time. They have an apartment under the studio there, so we got to like stay at the studio.
Yeah.
And it was like a retreat because it's like an hour away. And so that was rad. I think for this record, for me, it was all about pre-production because I've never been a part of a record where we had a producer. I did full pre-production. We found sound on the instruments. We took the time to track it out. And then like every step of the process, because like in punk rock, right, normally it's just like, I don't know, throw a microphone up, let's do it. Or like pre-production is such a myth to so many musicians. And so the fact that going into this record, we were doing that, I really wanted to take advantage of it. And I practiced like 3 hours every day leading up to it to really nail in some of the intricacies of what I was doing. And that made this the best studio experience I've ever had. I think in the past, I've kind of hated being in the studio, but I also went to college to record music. That was my major that I didn't finish.
Oh really?
So I'm a little jaded, I guess.
If you went to school for that, when you go into the studio, are you always looking, not I want to say looking over the shoulder, but you're like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
Man, that's part of what made this record so special is that I finally found people that I didn't feel the need to correct or complain about. Like we have like the crew working on the record now. It's just like I trust them. They know what
Yeah.
they're doing. They're just doing it. And before I got charged for studio time to explain how to sidechain an effect one time because the engineer didn't know how to do it. So I don't have to do that anymore. I'm good. I love the studio now.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
it's fun.
frustrating.
It was frustrating, man.
Holy cow. You're like, don't worry, dude, just go home. I got this.
Yeah, I'm paying you because I want creative input. I don't want to create. I'm not creating an echo chamber, right? Like I want that third set of ears on this. I want somebody else's vision to be a part of this record so they can look at my blind spots. And now I'm having to teach you how to run a desk. Nah. So
The a-hole.
yeah. So I love it now. We got to get system worked out.
All right, fun. Well, thanks for joining me today on this little podcast. Thanks for chatting it up, and
Absolutely. It was
Yeah,
blast.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having us, Jeff.
we'll have to have you guys again. And
Of course.
once your next bunch comes out, you're going to do them both on vinyl, right?
Yeah, we're still kind of working out the details on it. There will be a physical release. I strongly believe that it will be on vinyl. The first two releases may end up getting bundled together. We will see.
Yeah, there's a lot of logistic issues with vinyl production right now, so we'll
Yes.
see. To be determined.
Oh, so it's difficult to get it right now, supposedly?
Yeah, well, yeah. So going back to the lockdown, everybody decided that they wanted to listen to vinyl again. So everybody bought a bunch of the vinyl because they were bored, and then the facilities were shut down, so no one could make vinyl. And then Adele put out a double LP with 500,000 copies, which there's only like one pressing plant in the world that can handle 1 million discs like that. So that was their whole thing, and so now it's just been like fucked up since then, and it's all expensive and weird, and yeah. But I love it. I love vinyl. I want it.
Oh, good for you guys. Do you guys have any shows that coming up that you guys got scheduled?
New York Pizza in Greensboro on June 1st. We're playing Tua Lingua. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Tua Lingua in Charleston, South Carolina on June 3rd. And then we're playing the Bar Down Breakfest 2 in Charlotte on June 30th and July 1st
That's it. Yeah, at the Milestone,
at
which
the
is
Milestone in Charlotte.
like a historically significant punk venue.
That's
Like,
gonna be
Nirvana played there back in the
Yeah.
day. Bad Brains
Yeah.
has played there. Like they're
Black Flag, everybody.
Black Flag.
That's gonna be
yeah,
a
it's fucking
banger of
awesome.
a show. It's like 20 some pop punk bands. I think I guess probably one of the heavier bands out of that bunch. But we're playing on the 1st. We're playing on day 2. It's gonna be rad.
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting for you guys. Well,
It is.
Good luck, and yeah, we'll have to have you on again when your album comes out. I don't
Right.
have anything to play vinyl on though.
That's all right. It'll be online too.
Give us a shout anytime you want us to come back, Jeff. It was good talking to you.
And maybe we'll have to come out to East Coast one day.
Hey,
Oh yeah. All right. Have it a good one.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Thanks.
The end is near, so grab a beer and hang out with your friends and do some shit. There's no more fucks to give, and that is what life is. You can be my corner store sweetheart. You can be my cigarette kiss, and that is what life is. That is what life is. I don't want your number. I don't want your name. I just wanna feel good in my own skin. Not a single promise, not a guarantee. I will drink for you and hopefully you will drink for me. I will drown my sorrows in tomorrow's bad decisions once again. I will drown my sorrows in tomorrow's bad decisions once again. The end is near, so hang out with your friends and do some shit. There's no more fucks to give, and that is what life is. You can be my corner store sweetheart. You can be my cigarette kiss, and that is what life is. That is what life is. is what life is. You can be my corner store sweetheart. You can be my cigarette kiss. And that is what life is. That is what life is. Once again, I will drown my sorrows in tomorrow's bad decisions once again. The end's near, so hang out with your friends and do some shit. There's no more bucks to get, and that is what life is. You can be my corner store sweetheart. You can be my cigarette kiss. And that is what life is. That is what life is. The end is near, so grab a beer and hang out with